Okay, so welcome back to Usual Paddy. I'm Pet Shop Man, and today I'm joined with a new person.
Me?
And who are you?
I'm Robyn.
Wow.
I know.
How does it feel?
Weird.
In what way?
I don't like listening to voices this close to my ears.
See, you opted for the headphones.
Yeah, but
Yeah, well, you have to deal with it.
It's done now.
So, I mean, you can also, try and whisper, but again, everyone will
Or one of
hear
those, what is it, no. Them ones where people whisper and it's meant to make you go to sleep. If you've ever listened to one.
Yeah.
Where they're, doing things and it's really weird, but they talk like this all the time.
Yeah, I know
People are meant to be like,
I know for, the first episode or something, Jane was, trying to signal that I needed the loo, and it's like, I need the loo. And
I'm probably dying for the toilet right now.
Everyone could hear it.
Obviously.
Anyway, so we're still obviously in October, so it's horror month.
Horror season. Also my birthday season, just saying.
There's the horror right there.
Oh, yeah.
The horrificness. Mm-hmm. So we're just going around talking to people, talking about horror films and scary things, and generally what you find scary. So to start off, I'll start off with the same kind of question that I asked the others.
Which is a good film, by the way.
We did mention the others. It is a cracker of a film.
It's a banger, but only the first time, because then when you know the twist, it's not as good.
It's still good.
You're still expecting it though, aren't you? I'm not going to ruin it.
Yeah, but it's good. So, what type of horror films are your go-tos?
Type?
Yeah.
I don't like gory horror.
Right, so you're not
I
into Hostels and...
No, God no. I've saw half of the first Saw film and I was like, no, this is never for me.
See, the first one was a good one.
No, I'm not a fan. I don't like to... Why would you want to watch something that just makes you want to look away? What's that? What's the point?
What if you don't want to look away?
Well, I do want to look away.
Psychopath. If you just get closer to the telly and go,
So, ideas for the future then?
Said Logan.
Yeah.
So, that's a story for another time.
That's going to need 15 usual paddies to unpack. No, I prefer, nostalgic ones, as in the things, the ones that I remember from my childhood, definitely appropriate. They're my favourite go-tos, as in, the comfort ones. But I prefer a kind of...
A campy slasher.
I like a camp 90s slasher more than anything in the world. But also, I really like the ones that are, just, creepy and, make you feel weird, rather than ones that are, outwardly horror-ish.
Yeah.
So ones where there's, sneaky things.
Me, are you more of the psychological?
Yeah, I prefer a psychological than an obvious, apart from a 90s slasher.
So, I mean, slashers take a different turn in
modern
the
kind of
times.
Yeah. There's something about them. Even though, like I say, I've just literally said I don't like gore and then been but I really love slashers. But there's not gore, though, is it? Well, it is, but it's... They're their own, little section of films.
I mean, there's a limit to the gore that you get normally in, a campy...
And the camp, that's the thing,
slasher.
It's the campness of it, I think, is it makes it less... Whereas things like Hostel and Saw and stuff, it's just, just butchering people. It's just minging.
Now, is that because with campy 90s horrors, we all kind of most of us kind of grew up with that, but it just doesn't work in today's society. People want more, but they don't want to have to think about it.
Yeah, I think.
Which is why they have to push the boat out.
It's sort of difficult, now especially. Obviously, they're starting to go back into that nostalgic kind of thing again. But
they're trying.
Well, they're trying to, but I quite like that they're trying to, because it's more enjoyable for me. But at the point when things like Hostel and stuff were coming out, they kind of ran out of ideas for other things. So I think what they probably did was just think, what can we do next? Oh, I know, we'll just hack people to shit.
Now, I obviously know the answer to this, but no one else does.
Go on.
What's your favourite scary movie?
It's obviously Scream. It will always be Scream. Forever Scream. Oh my God, Scream.
What is it about Scream that
Everything
gets your motor running?
Oh, I don't know. It's fun. It's camp. It's like you have to think about it all the way through. It's one of those films that even obviously, like, I know what happens in it now, but it keeps you thinking all the way through. And when you think you've solved it, and then you haven't, and it's got all the best people in it, and it's just fun and wonderful. Everything about it's amazing.
Does your mind keep flip-flopping when you're watching it, going, I bet behind that mask is going to be Stu, or it's going to be...
Yeah, it, like now, but at the time, do you remember watching it for the first time?
Oh, it was a mind bender.
It fucked with you. Like, when it came to the end bit and like, you found everything out, you were like, what? It was literally the greatest thing. And it stuck, that feeling, I think, is the reason why I love it so much. That and the fact that it has, like, two absolute babes as their murderers. But, like... that first ever feeling of like, oh my God, the twist was incredible. That went loud.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? I'm just
yes,
fiddling with knobs.
Yes. It was. Oh, I'm so excited just talking about it. It was that initial buzz of getting the twist at the end. Yeah. Still now, even though I know it, that's the feeling that I get when I watch it.
That's what
it makes me feel warm.
For me, like, when it came out, like, the biggest...
It was so fresh.
The biggest, like, talk of everything was, Drew Barrymore died, like, straight away.
That was the whole point. They were like, let's get a massive star and then murder her instantly. So everyone's like, shit, this is not what we expected.
That's what got it going.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But
popping. I love it.
Now, Scream, yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the other ones?
I still like them. I don't have the same sort of fondness for them, but I do still like them, and I still to this day do watch them. Sometimes in order, sometimes I just randomly grab one and watch one.
See, it will always be the first one.
Always the first one.
The second one, or like Billy's mum, it's like really.
Yeah, but
and then there's the whole things about like stab. We're making
I know, but there's
Stab
loads of
like on and
even now there's loads of shit things that come out that are kind of like, if it's got a throwback to an original thing or it like has a feel of it, I just feel like I just love it, even if it's shit.
But I mean, yeah,
I just love the fact that it's there.
There's all weird. Like the Jane Silent Bob cameo, and it's like, oh, really.
Yeah, I know it's
like, yeah, I like them, but
it's shit.
In the wrong.
But it's crap. But it's like,
see, it kind of went down the route of like.
I mean, I just recently watched it. Well, not recently. It was quite a while ago. They did like a Netflix remake of it with like a different mask, and it was a different story and stuff.
Is this a TV series?
Yeah, and it was a TV series, but it was called Scream. So I was like, I'm into this. And then actually, I really enjoyed it, and it had like little, like tiny little throwbacks.
Was it in Woodsboro?
No, it wasn't. Oh, was it? No, it wasn't. It was the next town across.
Oh. Really?
Woodsboro. Yeah, it was. It was the next town across. I think.
See, I find Scream quickly went down the same route where, like Nightmare on Elm Street and like Friday the 13th and stuff went, where they went super campy as time went on, which Scream did, but it did it a lot faster.
Yeah, but it was campy to start with, though, wasn't it? Like, it was self-aware a bit, I think.
It became self-aware as it went on.
I think it even was to start with.
Yeah.
I think the first one even was quite self-aware, so where could they go from there apart from stupider?
It kind of like rejigged the slasher thing. It what kicked it all back off again.
I know, and then from then it was like all that 90s shit. It was amazing.
Yeah. You got Urban Legends.
Oh, yes.
I know what you did last summer.
Yeah, all of them. I watched The Faculty the other day. That beaming. Was a banger.
See, The Faculty is different because that's aliens.
It is, but it's still that kind of like...
It's still campy.
It's got that feel to it, that kind of...
It's because it's all high school. The same gang of
people in it.
It's all high school related, no matter where you go.
If it's high school related, get it in my eyes, basically.
Yeah.
I'm literally buzzing about this topic.
Now...
Because Scream.
We went to Edinburgh Horror Convention, didn't we?
We did.
And we met Matthew Lillard.
Don't even. It was literally dream.
We have our picture with him.
Fucking hell, he is my ultimate man.
And he is about 10 foot tall.
And he's a delight.
He's a super nice person, isn't he? It's like...
What a
you'd like, after talking to him for like 5 minutes, you're like, yeah, I'd let him stab me. Yeah. I'd let him knife me.
That's absolutely fine. Do you know what? What a guy. And also just like, what an absolute dream come true. I nearly literally soiled myself when I saw that he'd been announced for it.
So did a lot of people, because there were some people dressed as Scooby-Doo there, didn't they?
And they were weird.
Yeah.
They were like, there was like a really strange... I'm pretty sure she was probably a stalker of some description, at least online. I bet she did fan art and did like fan porn. Do you know that kind?
Yeah.
I bet she made like anime versions of herself with Scooby-Doo. Do you know she had that kind of... Yeah, not for me. She was kind of a bit much.
Like, they called her up to like be a judge at one point, and she was like being like super into it, like overdoing it, and it was a little cringy, wasn't it?
I'm wincing just remembering. No, she was not great.
I mean...
But there was someone dressed up as the Jackal from 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, there was. That was a right costume.
Oh my God, she looked amazing.
That was a right costume.
And a right film.
Yeah.
Another Lillard one.
Well, I don't find it aged well.
It didn't. It's shit now. I watched it again, but again...
Super poorly.
Buzz off it just because of how much I used to love it.
You buzz off it even more now because, like, Matthew Lillard's in it. And
I buzzed off it because he was in it anyway. Literally love him. Always have. Always will. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's just a noise. That's all I can muster.
Want Shannon Elizabeth in that? And she played the guy who played Monk. That was like his daughter. It's such a mismatched family of like relevant 90s people.
I know, yeah. But
so you've got like Monk, you've got Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie in there trying to like wrangle some people in.
It's like, hey, I'm a famous, be in this film. Yay! No, it didn't age very well.
Where is she
now? Said, I mean, even there's that horrible house that's been built and being sold for £3 million on Seymour Road.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to buy that. But every time I drive past that, I look at it and I think, oh, it kind of vaguely reminds me of 13 Ghosts. There's still that feel of it. Again,
like the walls will move.
Yeah. No, I just feel nostalgia for that kind of era of film, I think. Even if now there is the literal shit is... Oh, they're saying that I watched Hellraiser the other... like a couple of months ago.
I was talking about that.
God.
With like Jamie Martin again, not aged well at all.
I literally was just laughing all the way through it.
It could be brilliant if it's like redone, but redone properly.
Yeah, no, oh God.
Every time they like try, it's like, oh no,
that did not age even slightly well. It was honestly, it was a joke. I loved it though. Actually, I didn't love it. Not up there as one of my favourites, never was.
No, but it's not going to be the poorest films because, like, you keep telling me to watch some of these drivel like you see on, like, Netflix.
Killer mermaids.
The 5-headed shark, like, mum watched.
5-headed shark attack where, scientifically and possibly, the 5th head is its tail.
Just getting it's gonna, like, swished around
vomit
everywhere.
Its way forward instead of swish itself.
But,
no, great.
Like... You've lent me that DVD like 2 years ago of like Ghosts of Sherwood, is it?
It's a shit Robin Hood film.
You keep telling me to watch it.
No, right, but it's got... Don't ever be roped in by a holographic... Oh, I've just knocked myself over because I'm kind of comfy. By like a holographic, really good quality cover, because what that means is that's where their budget went.
Yeah, on the cover.
Oh my God, it was awful. It was worse than porn acting.
And there was that like other one where you said like it's literally like the Vanquish card advert was like a trailer for it.
The Robin Hood one.
Or is that the Robin Hood one?
You know that like behold the card or Vanquish.
Yeah.
It was literally like that, and the man that was meant to be like the babe in it was hideous.
Was he?
Oh God. But seriously, it was called like the Ghosts of Sherwood Forest.
Yeah, I'm probably still not going to watch that.
Please watch it. Please do. Oh, what about the other one that I told you to watch? Robert. With the evil doll in that museum.
You see, I've had my fill with evil dolls because
I know this is shit.
We're going to talk about The Boy soon.
Yeah, we'll get there in a minute. But Robert, right. Meant to be this like Victorian doll. literally had the mother care label on his little boots. I was like, because that was around in the Victorian times. It was so bad. Not even like, oh, it's so bad, it's good. Just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, The Boy.
The Boy. What a letdown.
You watch the trailers of that, you think, oh, more creepy dolls, but like actually could be creepy than the Annabelle film, which was a super letdown for me.
Yeah.
But now, there's going to be some spoilers about The Boy here, because it's like, it's just...
You're not missing anything.
It's just a
like,
man in the
good.
walls.
This could be good. What a fucking letdown.
Yeah.
This is shit.
And he just keeps popping out the walls and moving a doll around. And it's the whole thing is like, I don't get why his parents... I mean, I get why his parents want a babysitter to come around to look after
him.
a
and
doll.
Then they leave.
And instead of like going
Woohoo!
let's never go back. Let's just never go back.
We've got some sucker to look after our freaky kid in the walls.
It's like, let's fill our pocket with rocks and go drown ourselves. Like, why would you need to do that?
Let's die.
Why not just like pop a cap in your face at
Why
the
not
mansion?
do any of those things? Go on a fucking holiday.
Well, they did, but they died on it. On purpose.
Go on a good holiday.
One where you don't feel like you want to die at the end of it.
You can Instagram it afterwards instead of having to be like coffin buried lead. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's shit.
But but speaking of like boys in the walls, the people under the stairs.
Yes. See,
that's
different though.
That's a boy in the walls film done right.
Yeah. Huh.
Love that film. Love it.
You love it more than I love it, I think, but I do like it.
Yeah, again, I kind of like grew up watching it.
That's the thing. A lot of people have different films that they love, literally because of the fact that they grew up watching it, like the nostalgia behind it, which I can understand because I am a big sucker for a nostalgia.
Yeah. So, I mean, what other like of horror films that you have seen? Which ones, bar Scream, do you like going back to?
Oh God.
And which ones could you just like watch over and over again?
I don't tend to watch. I mean, I like the real classics like The Shining. I watched that again the other day. Still enjoy it. Still don't really understand it, but I enjoy it anyway. It's a jaunt. Children of the Corn, Wicker Man. Them make you feel like you need a shower afterwards because they're a bit dodgy.
It's not the Nicolas Cage one.
No, not that shit one. The original,
God.
like the old one.
The Bees.
Those kind of ones I could go back to over and over and over again. And I don't know, like generally with horror films, it's only the ones that I'm really fond of that I would go back to, because on Nightmare on Elm Street, the one, I can't remember which one it is. Is it 3? The one where they burn themselves with fags and they're in the psychiatric ward. That's my favourite one. Where there's the puppet and she's been walked by her own veins.
Ew.
Yeah.
Right. It's been so long since I've watched them.
I can't remember which one.
I've not even seen all of them.
So that specific Nightmare on Elm Street I would go back to several times. I mean, we're talking horror here. Yeah. Scooby-Doo. Does that
I suppose
it's
got ghosts in it.
It's got ghosts
but then so does Casper. But is that a horror film?
No, but this is the thing. It's Halloween time, isn't it? Let's face it. You can get
ghosts and ghouls.
Not horror films that are seasonally appropriate, which I would also count in this situation, I would think. Right. The Wolfman, the one with Anthony Hopkins, that's a dead good film as well. I'd go back to that.
Is that the one that we went to the cinema to see? That had Benicio del Toro in it?
I feel like yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We took my mum. She was with us.
Was she?
She wouldn't have not let me be.
Yeah, but then we went to see it. See, I mentioned on
I've lost track of all the
on
films
on the other podcast. I mentioned that I went to a friend. I went to the cinema with a friend that ate a yogurt while watching it. That friend was you.
Good day.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm just looking around now for another yogurt as well.
They're in the fridge.
Oh my God.
And I left a plastic spoon on there because I know that's what you need.
To be honest, it was when I was going through my Slimming World phase.
How did that work out?
Shit, I'm as fat as balls. Literally, round. No, it was when I was going through my Slimming World phase, and the only thing that was nice that you could have as like a cinema snack was Muller Lite, so I got loads of them. They were really nice though. It was like peanut flavour.
No, then I'm not into it.
you're into it.
Well, so what did you think of it while we were there?
I really liked it.
Through your yoghurty eyes.
My yogurt-coated body. No, why would I be yogurt-coated? That's horrible. My yogurt...
Right. Oh, thanks, Georgie. You stay over there.
They all eat yogurt down here. No, I really liked it. It was great. It was... There was good jumpy bits in it. It was interesting. It was like the original, but not. It had that, again, I suppose that kind of like revival of 80s-ness, like with Stranger Things and stuff.
Yeah.
It had that feel to it, which
Stranger
I'm
Things
really into it. It was like, it was good. It was a good remake, I think.
Now, you mentioned jumping. Now, you know where this is going to go, don't you? Now,
yes, I do.
Some time ago, The Conjuring was out. I had it on DVD. It was in the old place.
Bear with.
I just had one big sofa. And I said, oh, Robyn, you have to watch Conjuring. And you were like, yeah, I'm up for that. So
why not?
We sat down.
Just make my dessert.
We had food. We're eating through. You had your chocolate pudding.
I did.
With probably some custard or something on it.
Probably.
I'd have to check my clothing.
I think it was chocolate sauce.
Well, it was something nasty.
It was those goo melt in the middle ones, so it was chocolate sauce
was
and
it?
chocolate puddings. Yes,
Right.
it was.
Now, I went and saw The Nun. I went with Martin.
Did you?
Yeah. And he, as I also mentioned the other day on here, is that he is so jumpy that he could hide behind a wall, jump out and say boo to someone,
and he would
and keck his own pants.
Brilliant.
Now, I've never seen someone jump quite like the way you did when we watched The Conjuring.
More of like a crumble.
Because, it was a leather sofa and it was quite slippy, but it was super comfortable. And you jumped, you gained a height, you tipped the entire contents of your bowl onto my lap.
I did.
And you slid off the sofa onto the floor.
Just laid in a heap of fear.
On the floor, like...
And the thing is, I used to be really shit at films, which I'm going to go back to in a minute. But I'm not really that jumpy anymore. But it was that one thing.
I know when you jump.
Just ruined my life.
When you jump, your legs buckle.
They do. When I'm scared in general, even if someone chases me, collapse.
I've never seen someone's legs buckle and have an effect while they've been sat down.
My God.
So, there we were. There's some poor woman levitating on the telly. We're in fits of hysterics. I'm picking chocolate pudding off my crotch while you're trying to pick yourself up off the floor.
Oh, I know. My God.
Kind of ruined the horror moment there.
I remember I think, actually, it was when I went to watch Paranormal Activity, the first one. And
when I went to see it?
No, I went with some other people. And I was sat next to a friend of mine, and something in there made me jump. And I don't really know what happened, what came over me, but the fear jump thing, it just made me jump. And my automatic reaction, I just punched him in the cinema.
Wow.
Just
domestic violence in the cinema.
And then I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I shit my pants. And the Hull, is it the Hull?
The one with the trapdoor in the floor.
Yeah, with the trapdoor in the floor and the kids.
Again, mentioned that the other day. It was such a film.
I watched that. Do you know, I think it might have been so long ago that I got it out at Blockbusters.
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure it was then.
Wow.
I know. And I watched it with my mum and my auntie, who is the ultimate fanny. Literally the scaredest human being of all time. She's just a skeleton made of panic.
But, you say that, but it's quite a heavy film.
It is quite a heavy film.
Because it goes on about,
because she's panicky, she sort of, rubs off on me. So if I was to watch it by myself, I wouldn't be quite as bad. But because it's her as well, and we're, and then she kind of, reflects, and we bounce back off each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got into such a state by the end of this film that there was, one random bit. because I have a genuine concern about any parts of any horror film where a character moves in a jerky fashion. You know the kind.
Like The Grudge and The Ring. And
where they do that kind of, where it's almost like they're in fast motion, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that really weirds me out.
Like a flick book.
Yeah. Well, there was somebody who did that in that, and both me and my auntie at the exact same time just cried and wet ourselves. Literally, it's never happened before, never happened since, was watching The Hole, which is, according to
Watch The Hole and you wet yourself.
Netflix or whatever, it's suitable for children. What the fuck?
I know, that's what I was saying. Like, isn't it like a Nickelodeon film or something?
It's meant to be like for teenagers.
Yeah.
I literally pissed myself. I'm not even joking.
Not the first time, won't be the last.
Well, no, but not for a film.
Well,
Which,
depends, have you seen
really.
Conjuring 2?
God. Honestly.
I can't watch a jumpy film with you while you're eating.
But the thing is, I'm not like that now. I seem to have died inside.
You mean you were once alive?
Well.
There you go. Yeah. Oh dear. So, now we'll talk about, like, your irrational fears. Again, such an amusement, considering we like to walk your dogs in the forestry.
Oh.
What is your irrational fear? Don't say trees. Like
Now-
Groots.
This is really cringy. I hate other people knowing this because it's really embarrassing, but here we go
Everyone
anyway.
needs to know because it's great.
I am genuinely, and I think rationally, afraid of werewolves.
Like, you're the kind of person that will, like, you've been a passenger in a car or you're on a bus or a train and you'll text me and be like, we're going past some trees, prime werewolf territory.
Everywhere I go is prime werewolf territory. Why do I walk my dogs in werewolf territory? It's nearly winter. Why do I set off at 6 p.m. and then end up in the middle of a forest, staring around myself thinking, well, this is the day I die at the hands of a werewolf?
Now, do you like werewolf films or do you
Yes,
just have
this
like
is
a
the thing.
fear of that as well?
I'm genuinely terrified of them, but I love werewolf films. Dog Soldiers is up there in my top 10 of all films of all time.
Wow.
And again,
That's
I've said I like The Wolfman.
super high, yeah.
But, I mean, they make me so scared when I watch them that my eyes actually tingle because I feel a bit sad. But I'm like,
So you
oh my
should.
God. But, like, you know, that kind of weird where something frightens you, but you have that morbid fascination with going back to it. That's how I feel about werewolf films.
What, like, if you were to see, like, a werewolf, like, for reals, like, what type of werewolf would scare you the most? Is it, like, the Harry Potter kind of werewolf, where they're just kind of like your dog Adam, but, like, slightly longer-legged, if
I'm
that's
not
possible?
going to lie. Sometimes when I'm on the mountain, it's foggy and he creeps out of the
see.
fog. He looks pretty creepy.
Anything looks creepy in the fog.
I mean, yeah, I've literally got a dog that looks like a werewolf as well, so that's not great. No, what it is people bodies, animal heads. Anything with a people body and an animal head, so a minotaur can go and get fucked and all.
Yeah, but if you think about it, we're all half centaur.
That's not funny. No.
But it's true.
It's true.
There you go, it's a fact.
It's a fact for... Here's one for you, fact lovers. No, that's...
Spoiler alert, you're half centaur.
Or half minotaur.
Or half minotaur.
Half werewolf even. No, it's
see.
the human body, the uprightness with the animal head fucks with my mind.
Opposed to a more like animal-like werewolf.
Which still frighten me.
And what about like Underworld?
I've never seen those films because they're about
Really?
werewolves.
Yeah, and vampires. But it's also Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, no. I've probably seen them in the background. I've never made a real conscious effort to watch
Right.
them, really. But no, it's more like the Harry Potter werewolf scares me. Wolfman werewolf scares me. Dog Soldiers. In my, when was it? About 10 years ago in the house that I lived in before this one, there was an outside toilet in the garden. And
I said who?
I know, right? But then, as a result, I wouldn't go out the back door after dark, even to get the dog in or let her out for a wee, because the outside toilet would obviously have a werewolf in it.
Well, exactly.
Courtesy of Dog Soldiers. And I used to many years ago, come back from people's houses on the bus, and the bus driver knew that I was frightened. Not of werewolves, I never told him.
Oh.
But he used to drop me off at the end of my street, even though it was off his bus route. Because I used to shit my pants going past alleyways just in case a werewolf slowly walked out of an alleyway in town.
Just like mooching along with his savers bag.
They're just... Oh, man. No. Not for me.
No.
Not for me at all.
Oh. Now, your first array into horror films, can you remember, like, your...
My first foray?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, I mean... Oh, my God. I can't even believe, right? We've had this massive discussion about my favourite films, and not once have I mentioned Lost Boys, despite the fact that that was my definitive childhood everything.
I mean, it's such a classic. It's such a cult classic, that film.
Oh my God, it is a cult classic. Literally, though, I was raised on that film. Literally raised on it. It was... Obviously, when you kind of sit, like, you say things like this, and then you're like, maybe I shouldn't have been watching these things when I was but a child. But no, I was literally raised on that film.
Yeah.
Lost Boys was everything.
So would you say that was kind of like your first...
Probably, yes.
Foray?
Yeah, I would say... I mean, it was... like I say, all the sort of, like, the Children of the Corn, those classics. Hammer House of Horror, those little...
yeah, your mum's really into
little,
hammers, isn't she?
Yeah, so those
and
little
she had,
Hammer
like, all the
horror,
videos
like,
and...
mini-series type things.
Yeah.
Tales of the Unexpected... mini-series as well. It was... I mean, even to this day, I mean, my mum loves, her favourite things are like vampires, werewolves, ghosts, gargoyles, grotesques.
I mean, you can tell that by just being in your house.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff going on.
It does look like a museum of curios.
Looks like it's just been picked out of Whitby and just, like, put in Scarborough.
Yeah, so... As a child, my world was that. It was horror, it was creepy shit and weird stuff, and it still is. But yeah, Lost Boys is one of my oldest, fondest memories, and is level, I would say, with Scream as my ultimate favourite film of all time.
Right. It's funny that you're saying quite often about your top favourite films ever.
They're all creepy.
They're all like sort of like horror thrillers type
horror-ish is
films.
Like Hocus Pocus, Casper, the first one. I want a tattoo of when Casper turns into a fried egg on my body.
So you just want a fried egg with some eyes and a mouth.
But it's kind of got his face, hasn't it? Like, I still sometimes listen to the little bit of music when he turns back into a boy and does the little dance, and it's delightful. So yeah, even stupid things like, so it's Casper, Hocus Pocus, which is a banger. Lost Boys, Scream, 13 Ghosts, House on Haunted Hill.
Still 13 Ghosts, though.
Yeah, it is, because I'm really fond of it. It's nostalgic. It makes me feel warm. Scooby-Doo, the original Scooby-Doo movie. I love it. Well, I still have a collection of all the original Scooby-Doo cartoons on video and DVD.
And you have Goosebumps videos as well.
Goosebumps.
Which I still want.
Oh my God, I still have VHS Goosebumps. Just what more do you want in your life? Nothing.
Them, but on DVD. Which I have, because we tried to watch them all, didn't we?
Have you not watched Goosebumps on Netflix? It's on Netflix.
What, the series?
All of them.
But I've got the DVDs, didn't I? Remember, I got them, and every week we would, like, beast through them.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, and we still haven't finished that.
No, we haven't. Well, they're on Netflix. So
yeah, I forgot where we're at, but there were some corkers in there.
Yeah, God, yeah.
The superhero one.
Mm-hmm. The one with the giant ants. That always sticks with me.
What's that one where you found that hilarious and I sent you like a picture of it later on?
It was the superhero one, wasn't it? And it was when he was running in that hallway and like
there
really
was
badly
that.
on the spot.
I'm sure it was something. It could have been like the thing in the basement as well.
I can't even remember. Again, they're really tacky now, and it's really like.
Again, but it's nostalgia though.
It is nostalgia, but that's what I mean. Goosebumps was the first thing I remember buying Goosebumps books, and I remember reading them all and watching them and getting them on video. I remember all the Scooby-Doos, everything to do with that. Again, then Scooby-Doo came out on film. Matthew Lillard, obviously a draw.
Did you watch Round the Twist?
I did.
Now that was weird.
That was really weird. And I was thinking the other day as well, I may have told you about it actually. I remember going to my grandma's.
Now I remember.
So do I.
Goosebumps reference.
I remember going to my grandma's and watching a thing on CBBC called... Oh my God, what's it even called?
Strange But True.
No. But we'll get back to that in a second. Oh my God, what was it called? This is useless.
14 TV.
40 and TV was a beast. I used to watch that at my dad's when I was really small. And he did a little song
with the Reverend Lionel Fanthorpe.
And his good friend Alf. He'd be like, and here's my good friend Alf. And then they do a little song.
A weird ending to a strange programme.
It was super good though.
With some like leather-clad priest and his mate Al.
And I always remember them talking about raining frogs. That was the one that sticks with me.
Well, it was like part of the intro, that wasn't it?
Yeah. And I remember the episode with it. Do you know what? Let's leave this and maybe one day I'll remember it.
One day.
Will
it be in like October?
It was a weird thing on CBBC. I might even... Do you know what?
CBBC.
I'm going to Google it because I'm not going to remember what it was.
Google gets you so much in these podcasts.
CBBC.
Horror.
Alien. Jeopardy! Boom! Thanks, Google. Jeopardy. It was called Jeopardy and it was Australian. And what it basically was like alien version of Lost for kids, I guess.
Right, okay.
But it was really trippy, really weird, and gripping, like properly can't wait to watch the next episode even though it's actually just on kids' TV gripping. And I still think about it to this day, so it obviously was good in its way. Because it really drew me in, and I still think about how much it messed with my head at the time.
You should probably like sit and rewatch it again.
Yeah, it's all about like aliens and time travel, and it's like a group of teenagers that get dumped in the woods and they don't really know. They're all like intertwined and they don't really know how they got there.
So what other horror / scary thriller kind of films have you seen before that have had like any kind of lasting impression on you? It didn't have to be like a brilliant film, but there was like parts in it that like really stuck with you.
The reveal of The Others. No spoilers, no worries. Ghost Ship as well. You know, with the cheese wire thing.
Oh, that's like right at the beginning.
Yeah, but that I still like that. That was incredible because that was like, whoa, what the hell? Parts. I mean, it's hard to really say, innit? There's a film called The Innkeepers, and I wouldn't say that a part really stuck with me, but I remember I watched it, and I still sometimes think about it because it was so good. Because nothing really happened, but it made you think like you were so on edge for something to happen the whole time. It was really cleverly done, and it literally was just two people sat in a reception, but it was really clever.
Right.
And I still think about that. Do recommend, by the way.
Okay.
So stuff, it's just things like that, or The Village.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan, for all its flaws, because it is, let's face it, a bit stupid now, but sometimes it's a twist, isn't it? When you watch a film that's got a twist that slightly blows your mind, it stays with you.
Yeah.
And I love a twist.
Yeah. Like, it took you up until more recently that you finally watched The Sixth Sense, wasn't it?
Do you know what?
I made you watch it.
Yeah, no, I'd never seen it, and I'll tell you why. It was because when it first came out, it was such a massive deal, and I never got round to watching it, and by the time everybody else had watched it, it had been spoiled.
Yeah.
And because I already knew the ending, at that point I was very much pissed off that I'd been spoiled. And I thought, well, the whole big twist of it has been ruined, so what's the point? And I just never got round to it after that. Because I think, like, what's the point in going into a film knowing what the twist is? Although, as it turned out, when I did watch it, I did still really enjoy it. But, like, for many years, I was just bitter about the situation, I guess. And I was just really annoyed that it was spoilt for me.
Aww.
So I just didn't bother.
No.
Yeah.
Now, I saw... I want to say it's Oculus, and it could be Oculus.
Oh, yes! With Karen Gillan.
I don't know.
The redhead from Doctor Who?
Yeah, I know who you mean. It's been that long that I can't remember. I don't think it was, though. It might not have been Oculus.
The thing with the mirror?
No. She got... she was blind or something. She got, like, an eye transplant. But after she got the eye transplant, she could see ghosts.
Right, yes. I'm with you now. I was thinking of a different film, which I think also is called Oculus. Or maybe yours isn't called Oculus.
Might not be. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's Jessica Alba. Back when she wasn't a Who.
Back when she was... back when she was irrelevant. Oh, God.
But... I don't remember much of the film, but I do remember like, this one part where... Like... There was no jump scares, but it was that like inner fear of dread that was in it because she was in an elevator and behind her there was a ghost.
Right.
But it was like 6 inches off the floor.
Okay.
It's like feet were dangling.
Yeah.
And all this time she's waiting for like the lift to travel. She knows it's behind. She can hear it as it's breathing, and she daren't turn around. And it's such a slow process because. What the ghost starts doing is the ghost starts turning around, but super, super slowly. And I'm watching it and go, oh my God. Like my heart's
on edge waiting for something, yeah.
Like bursting out of my chest like Alien or something. It was just, even though nothing like happened, like the doors open and she got out, it was just like oh, what's going to happen? Like, it's turning around. What happens when it goes full 180?
Yeah. That feeling of dread, that's the same sort of thing with that Innkeepers, where it's like, you just think that something's gonna happen, and you're just waiting for it to happen, and you're just like, oh, and it makes you feel really heavy.
Yeah. Now, it can be when you were younger, as with you are, it's probably still relevant to you now. Mm-hmm. Have you ever watched a thing that's kept you up? Or has, like, woken you up in the night? Or, like, you've watched a film and you're like, yeah, it's fine, I'll go to bed. I'm fine. And you got into bed, you turn the light, if you get the covers on, you're like, shit.
Yeah, do you know what? I probably all the time, up until about maybe 3 years ago, when for some reason, suddenly I could sleep soundly in my bed. That
means that horror films are losing their effect these days.
Yeah, it must do. But, like, well... The Grudge, The Ring, those kind of like things with things just creepily moving around.
Yeah.
I remember when...
They're the ones that stick with you.
Which one is it? Is it The Grudge or The Ring where's the girl in the public toilets? It kind of like peers its head on the camera around the toilet cubicle.
It could be either.
And its hair's like hanging down over its
face.
If
the hair's hanging down, it's going to be The Ring then, because The Grudge was like the little boy, wasn't it?
Was it? Because I thought...
there was a creepy woman, moving thing as well, yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, and it made that noise. It was like...
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Well, that fucked with my mind for a long time. There's not a specific film where I've watched it and then I've definitely remember going to bed and being like, God, I can't sleep now. Or that's woken me up. It's kind of just... I mean... I watch horror films sort of relentlessly, especially, like I say, with my family being really into them. Whenever we watch a film, it's a horror film. But, like, just in general, it used to be a case of I'd be laid in bed and something hanging on the back of my door, I'd be convinced that it was going to move or, like, there'd be a shadow.
Yeah, well, let me stop you there. I remember when Boogeyman came out. Now, the film itself was dreadful.
It's shocking.
That first 5 minutes, that was good. Because it was like, the boy is in the bedroom and you like see something like stood there.
Yeah.
And he turns his lights on and it's just like a coat stand.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, and then he turns it off. But then it like lunges towards him. That was brilliant. However, the rest of the film was shocking.
It was shit. But that as part of the film. But that is how I respond to all fear. Also, things like when a poster's falling off the wall and it sounds like something scraping its fucking hand down your wall, and you just want to die.
Dread. Yeah.
And I used to, when I lived, I mean, I don't live on my own anymore, so maybe it's that. But when I did live on my own, there was a few occasions when I'd just be laid in bed, and all of a sudden, like, my brain would just go, "There's something under your bed. There's something in the room."
There are things under your bed now, aren't there? Generally, like hamsters.
Animals. Yeah.
Right, making scratching noises.
Yeah, there's loads of animals.
So you just
in my
become
room.
like immune to it now.
Yeah, but like, and it'd just be like an overwhelming feeling of dread, like there was something terrible going to happen.
See, that happened to me back when I had Steve. Now, Steve was a Toki gecko, and I'd had him for a while, and then one early hours of the morning, he decided to become vocal. Now, I'd had him for like a year, and I'd never heard him make a noise, and it woke me up, and I was so tense. I was like, what the hell is that noise? I was proper panicking. And as it turns out, it was just like Steve being vocal.
Yeah.
So,
What about the other time when you were woken up or you walked around at night and there was a kid's microwave going off?
Yes, that was in the old house. So, I'd got up, I'd like gone to the toilet, and I can hear something making like a whirring noise. So I was like, what the hell's that? So like I'm looking around, and then I go into the front room, and it was like a big front room. And in the window there was like a kid's teepee, because Lizzie's niece used to come around, have toys there. And in the middle of that teepee there was a tiny kid's microwave, and the light was on, and it was making the noise. So I went.
Why is something like that so sinister?
I know. And then I went outside. I went into the teepee, and then in the microwave was a tiny roast chicken turning around in the microwave
by itself.
On its own. No one had
God.
set it off. It was just like being that, and it was like dead centre, and it was just like making this noise. And yeah, that was really creepy.
Stuff like that is quite creepy, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, It was at the time.
Yeah.
And if I didn't need the toilet then, I needed it after.
You have to be in that frame of mind, I think.
God, I've forgotten about that.
Yeah.
I still got the pictures somewhere, because after I got my senses back, I obviously took pictures, because that's what you do.
That's the modern age now.
Oh, yeah, so many creepy things.
There was a man, I remember once I watched a film, I went to my mum's house to watch a film, and it was creepy, and then I went home, I got a lift off my auntie to drop me off at home, and there was a drunk man walking down the road outside my house, but because the way that he was walking, he kind of looked a bit like a zombie or a murderer dragging himself along.
Yeah.
So I made my auntie take me back to my mum's house so I could sleep there, because I didn't want to sleep with what could
with a zombie in the street,
been a zombie or a murderer down the road.
A zombie murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Stuff like that. But that's just me being pathetic, I think, more than
Well,
anything.
I mean, it's also like you, again, thinking you're seeing werewolves when you're driving along, and you even say to me you spend too much time not looking where you're driving, because you're like
staring
thinking
into the trees, like, could there be a werewolf?
You keep,
and I get in the car and I lock the doors, like, as if that's going to stop one.
Expecting to see a werewolf running alongside the car, but just on the other side of the tree line.
Yeah, just in,
keeping up
pace, ready
now,
to,
when you reverse into a ditch and you got stuck, what if I wasn't there and the crazy woman throwing her terriers around wasn't there to help? Because it was getting dark then as well.
Another story for another day there.
Yeah.
I'd have wept. Probably.
Luckily I was there.
I would have made many phone calls while sat in my locked vehicle with my large dog for protection.
No, it was like... Was it Urban Legends where it turns out there was like a killer in the backseat as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because that in itself is an urban legend.
Yeah.
And the whole like feet scratching on the roof.
Hook hand, man, hook.
This goes back to a story she sent me earlier that wasn't funny, but she finds
I think it's hilarious. I think I'm on a higher plane of existence to anybody else.
You need to be able to read it and not so much hear it.
Howler.
It's all to do with like text speak and use
like
of
shit.
today.
It's basically just like an internet joke tied in with a urban legend, tied in with
modern life.
Just the most fucking funny punchline of anything ever.
Scream wouldn't really work in modern life, would it?
No.
Like original Scream.
No, probably not.
Because you wouldn't have that... Well, you wouldn't really have a landline.
No, you wouldn't. They'd be like, I'm still in the same house. And you'd be like, yes, so's everyone else.
You won't get that beep, 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 beep when they've pulled the phone cable out of the wall or something, because you'd just be immobile.
Yeah, and they'd be like, do you like scary movies? And they'd be like, no, I like a chick flick.
Let me check my Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't. Quite a lot of those kind of films.
Do you want to Netflix and kill?
Yeah, it's headed into a bit of... That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a little bit.
But also, both of those people, yes, please.
Yeah, but they both managed to overthrow her jock boyfriend at the beginning, didn't they? And tie him to a chair before slitting his guts.
Yeah, they did. But, you know...
It's all like whey protein if it was these days. Like, do you even lift, bro?
I'd be like, he'd have two ghost faces in each hand. It's like, you didn't have your proteoats for breakfast.
How many ghost face do you press? Do you bench?
Yeah, that'd be...
And the whole thing with the video store wouldn't be a thing if it was modern times, would it?
Most horror films would not work in a modern time, though.
No.
And also a lot of the things where like people were like, oh my god, what's this? Everyone now would be like, oh, I heard about this on Tumblr.
Yeah. And then there'll be like a moth meme about it.
Or you could just be like, you could go on Snopes and be like, well, I know this isn't real, so... Yeah.
And creepypasta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of films wouldn't work. Urban Legends still might work.
But that sort of, again, it's like, it's from a different time. Even though it wasn't really that long, it actually was a long time ago, wasn't it? It was a very long time ago.
Final Destination would work.
Yeah. Final Destination might even work better with a lot of things now.
Yeah, but I mean, they tried horror films with trying to be like modern, because you had like Fear.com, and that was crap.
Yeah, that's true.
And even like non-horror films like Hackers. With Matthew Lillard again,
mate. Though
going into like a phone booth, going into a phone booth to like hackers, with your Matrix scrolling on the.
What a bad boy that film is, though.
What a bad film.
No lies and slander.
So I'd also mentioned previously that we met the Creeper as well from Jeepers Creepers.
We did.
Again, that's quite a short man.
Yeah. And also, Jeepers Creepers, I used to buzz off it. And I still do really enjoy it, actually.
Only the first one.
Yeah. But, like, it's gone a bit lost profits in how tainted it is now.
Oh, be careful.
Oh, do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, I know what you mean, because the director has a history.
Yeah.
You know, not quite an Ian Watkins history, but he has a history.
When you find stuff like that out, you're like, oh, that's kind of ruined it a little bit for me.
Yeah, but then the films kind of ruined themselves because they went really poor really quick.
They did, but the first one was
a banger.
Bayute. Although even the guy who played the Creeper said that he really enjoyed number 4.
3.
I thought it was 4 they'd filmed.
Is it 4?
How many are out now?
I don't know.
The most recent one that he's done.
Yeah. We'll just say that.
He said that he loved it, and then it was actually worth a watch.
You'll have a different kind of perspective. I mean, it's a whole thing of like everyone has a different opinion on different films, which is why I'm getting different people in to talk about them.
Yeah,
it's like you really like 13 Ghosts. Well, no, I mean,
am possibly one of about 4 people in the world.
Yeah, and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
it aged so badly. But House on Haunted Hill. Now, even the remake with that, with Jeffrey Rush in, that was a great film. And again, it's a paranormal film, and I do like a paranormal film. That has me more on edge than, say, like, space horror or alien horror.
I was gonna say, like, is Alien a
well,
horror?
I mean, the first one we were discussing is a horror film.
So what makes it a horror when it should really just be a sci-fi, surely?
Well, it's a sci-fi horror.
Okay.
Really. Which, I mean, any horror, well, even paranormal horror could be described as sci-fi, because it's science fiction. Everyone just thinks sci-fi space, but there's more to it than that, isn't there?
Yeah. What about, like, Cube? You seen Cube?
Cube, yeah, I've seen Cube.
All the Cubes. They are mint.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are so good. I love them.
Mm.
Do they count? What are they?
I mean,
just sci-fi, because there's an element of thriller in that as well, isn't there? Really?
I mean, thrillers. Again, we just thrillers can be horrors to an extent as well. I mean, Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
that's a thriller.
Yeah,
but
it's mega.
It depends on like the situation that you're in.
See, every time you mention a film, I'm like, shit, yes, I love that one as well.
Well, what are The Hills of Eyes?
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Creeps me out. Them Deep Southers, they need to all fuck off.
Right.
In that kind of like weird, like, you gotta put a mouth, like...
Yeah, Deliverance. Again, that's another thing. Yeah. That's a thriller, but I mean, obviously if you're in that situation, then, you know, it's pretty horrific.
Horrible, yeah.
So, I mean, it depends, like, even some people may think, like, Eight-Legged Freaks. If you're that irrational fear of spiders, a film like Eight-Legged Freaks could be perceived as a horror film.
Yeah, even though it's mint.
And like Sharknado, if you've got an irrational fear of sharks.
I've got an irrational fear of sharks. The worst horror film in the world is Five-Headed Shark Attack.
Yeah, that's the point. Someone might watch that and be like, well, I ain't getting in the sea.
Yeah.
Like, two heads. One head's bad. Like, imagine, like, coming across, like, 4 sharks and one flailing behind trying to propel the thing along. Yeah. And like Jaws, I mean, Jaws was perceived as like a horror film.
Jaws was technically a horror, wasn't it?
Now, if you get like horror icons, like a poster of like horror icons,
it's got Jaws on it.
Jaws always pops up in there.
Yeah, it does actually, doesn't it?
Jaws
is my mum's favourite film of all time. Poltergeist, yes.
Again, quite the horror film. Again, it's kind of like a family film, but it's still
creepy as
horrific.
Well, yeah.
Like she gets sucked into that telly.
It's weird, I suppose.
Like, it's even worse these days because like everyone has bigger tellies. Even you'd get sucked into a telly.
It'd be hard going, but I'd get there.
Like in a cinema, but you'd be dragged in there.
Yeah, it's well. I think everyone's idea, like you say, everyone's idea of horror is different. Like when I think of horror, I think of like what is classically a horror, whereas then you actually think about it and you're like, wait a minute though. Like you say, Poltergeist. Not necessarily a horror, but is a horror. Jaws. Them kind of things, really.
Yeah. Spookums.
Creepsvilles.
Creep. No, not like that. That super modern thing. I don't even know what it's about. But yeah, was it London Underground or something? And there was that like weird creature.
Yeah.
And there was that woman that got locked in because she like fell asleep or something.
Yeah.
That I felt was a poor do.
I thought it was good until you saw what it was.
Yeah, but I mean, that you get that with a lot of films, don't you? Again, like when the creeper like revealed himself.
What is the other one that's shit because you see the whole thing all the way through? Is it Cloverfield? Or the other one where it's like an alien?
Well, I mean, that's kind of Cloverfield, and that's your found footage thing.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's different with a monster movie because you kind of want to see it, like Tremors. You want to see it, and you know what it is.
Because I think it was because of the fact that it was found footage. It went. I've just remembered another film in my train of thought. It tried to be Blair Witch, but it was the beauty of Blair Witch was you never saw anything.
I didn't find Blair Witch to be particularly good.
What, the original one?
Yeah.
Literally Get Out of My Life.
No.
Banger.
You're in my room.
Well, get out your own house, because...
Yeah, because that's how it works.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I like a film that can build up, and I don't mind a slow burner.
Yeah.
But I found the end to, like, not deliver anything.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Slow burners. What about Get Out? That we spent literally ages trying to find.
Get Out. Which you just told me to do anyway. Yeah, that's that controversial one because, again, spoiler alert, isn't that the one where it ends with, like, I can end your suffering by suicide?
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, that's just telling people that suicide's the answer.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not. But, you know, it happened. But, I mean, it wasn't too bad a film.
I enjoyed it. It had that kind of weird psychological, what the fuck's going on kind of feel to it, which I like about a film. Where, like, you sit kind of a bit gobsmacked looking at the screen like, Like Ghost Stories. I watched that.
Yeah, I've still not seen that.
I got halfway through it and I was like, this is really good. And then the rest of it, I was like, what is even happening? But I think you need that. You need to feel engaged because otherwise you get bored. You need it.
You're a fan of a point horror, aren't you? Oh. Going into books.
Yes, I am. Oh my God, get them in my life. Those. Again, it's 90s teen slashers or 80s, 90s.
You read them other ones?
Which ones?
There was point thrillers. I'm guessing you didn't read point romance.
No, and point crime.
Oh yeah,
no, it was only point horror, and then point horror unleashed, which were meant to be like the slightly more hardcore versions.
What's your favourite point horror?
Oh, shit, son, now you're asking.
Was it The Lifeguard?
Oh,
the one point horror that we keep seeing in the second-hand
literally everywhere. Do you know? I don't know. I'd have to come back to you on that one.
Okay.
Because I'd have to refresh my memory a little bit. Because I love them all. And actually all I'm doing now in my mind is going, but Goosebumps, which ones are they were my favourite?
So, I'm guessing with Goosebumps is going to be something like the first one, like Welcome to the Dead House.
Welcome to Dead House and The Barking Ghost. They are my two ultimate favourites of all of them ever. And I still have them.
The Barking Ghost, because
I don't have The Barking Ghost because I spilt water on it and it mushed. But I still have Welcome to Dead House, and I feel very strongly for it in a kind of... I don't know, I just really love it.
Good, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like campy B movies? Like monster movies and...
I do and I don't. They're not my favourite. My mother absolutely just lives for a creature feature. They're not my bag, but I kind of enjoy them when I watch them. But I would never set out to watch one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
The sort of thing, like if they're on TV and I'm in the room, I'll watch it and I'm like, oh, I'm actually kind of secretly enjoying this. But I've never ever think to myself, oh, I know, I'll put giant wasp versus octopus tentacle on.
No, I don't mean like that kind. That's like really poor, like
the Dinosaur Project.
Features. The Dinosaur Project is probably like one of the worst.
The Dinosaur Project.
I think the worst like horror film that I've seen. The worst horror film I've seen is probably Mr. Ice Cream Man. And it was such a
What is that?
It is literally what it is. Like the front cover was just like an ice cream, and there's like an eyeball in it, and it's about this an ice cream man, obviously, and he'd like kill people and somehow like put bits of them in ice cream
for reasons.
Yeah, it was just so bad.
So you're talking about that kind of film rather than a creature feature?
It's like one of them. It was done with a camcorder kind of thing, but it's like an old one.
Awful, awful films.
Yeah.
I kind of love those.
Yeah, I know. You keep trying to get me to watch it. We're going back to like Ghost of Forest again.
If it's shite, basically, if you can pick it up for 50p, you're onto a winner.
That's debatable.
And by a winner, I mean an enjoyable hour and a half of hilarity.
Of a film that you'll never watch again.
It's just, they're funny. They're hilarious. And it's just like, I think my main love for watching them is they're supposed to be like serious and scary and incredible. And I just really like watching them just to think, wow, someone lovingly made this and went through this process and went, yes, this is fit for consumption.
Yeah. How wrong were they?
So wrong.
So wrong.
But so right.
Matter of opinion.
Quite right.
Yeah.
A bit right.
A bit. So, I suppose we can wrap that up. October's a month, so it's going to last a while.
Quite easily talk more about mainly
I did tell you to prep, and you didn't, but
I wasn't allowed to prep because I was busy watching a horror film. No, I wasn't. I was watching Ant-Man.
Scary. So, have another think, and I'll bring you back on if you want to talk about horror films again at some point in the month.
I might compile a list of my favourite horror films and stuff.
Yes,
so that I actually remember what exists.
Prep work.
Well, when have I ever prepped for anything is my question.
Now's the time. Well, not now, but next time is the time.
At some point is the time.
Yeah.
Some point before the end of October is the time.
Yeah,
an actual Halloween one.
Then we'll have to start going on about Christmas.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yes, we will.
When we get to December.
And I'm all about that life as well.
Well, we'll get to that in December.
Sweet.
So, until next time, you've been Robyn.
I have been Robyn. I still am.
Yeah. Do you want to say bye or anything?
I guess so. See you later. Because I'll be back talking more about Matthew Lillard.
Taking more bollocks. And I'm Pet Shop Man. And that's signing out. So we'll see you next time.
Toodaloo.
And at some point,
I've never said that before in my life.
Robyn will make an intro and an outro when she gets a bloody finger out and does it.
I don't do anything. We know this.
Yeah, well, you need to get on with that.
I'm a lazy mess. Okay, that's great.
So, until next time, we'll see you later.